There were so many times last season, some of the Thursday night games, not all of them, but some of them were snooze fest.
It was more Monday night that was a snooze fest.
Well, those are always snooze fest.
Yeah.
But Thursday night, some of them were snooze fest, and you're like, it's already a short week. Not this time. Mm-hmm. I mean, week 2, Commanders at Packers. I don't know if you think this is a hot take or not, but if, and there's a big if someone can knock off the Eagles, and maybe it's one of these two teams, I could see this being an NFC title game. It would not shock me if someone looked into the future and said, Travis, we have Commanders, Packers as an NFC title game. Now, I would ask a follow-up.
Okay.
I would say, what happened to the Eagles? But I wouldn't be shocked at the notion that it's these two teams. That's how big of a matchup this is. That's how much I believe in both of these teams. Do you?
Yes, especially in terms of the Packers. I mean, we saw how much their numbers skyrocketed in terms of what they were going to do when you get Parsons on your roster. And then, of course, he makes such a mental case of what he plans to do this upcoming season to make sure that the Cowboys forever regret their decision. It was only week 1, and you guys know I'm not much of the dramatics of being like, oh, my gosh.
You don't overreact.
I don't overreact. But in simple, if I'm going to look at this and say, hey, this can be a big matchup down the stretch, it's going to come down to Jayden Daniels kind of settling back in. Going 19 for 30 was kind of messy, and you don't want to talk about a sophomore slump, and I don't think that's going to be the case with him, but seeing him a little bit more on the run versus a Giants team, that's going to make you concerned going against a Packers team that you've got bloodhounds on that are going to make sure that he's running the entire game if he's not on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I actually have the Packers in the Super Bowl. It's one of the reasons why I said it wouldn't shock me to see.
That was the path where you were going.
Yeah, I have Packers-Ravens in the Super Bowl. Ravens kind of, explains itself. But the Packers, the reason I picked them to come out of the NFC, I do think, and you brought it up, I think that Micah trade, that's why if you're the Packers, you make the Micah trade.
Yes.
Because that kind of game changer, that kind of playmaker on that side of the ball can get you over the hump. Now,
we talked about it in terms of whether or not it was worth getting him here, but
because
where
this
the
team
mark
isn't
was,
close enough.
Exactly.
And the Packers are close, and they are possibly a Micah Parsons away from going to the Super Bowl. Now, the issue I have with the Packers is Jordan Love, and that's who I'm watching tonight. I shouldn't say issue.
I was going to say, what do you mean by issue?
I don't have an issue's too strong. I have concerns about Jordan Love.
What are they?
He played hurt last year, so I want to give respect because he did show toughness. But I did not like what I saw from him in their final playoff game that they lost. And that was the kind of game where I'm like, you need to take the reins and carry your team home. Maybe he's not that caliber of a quarterback, but I would defer to a Packer fan on that because I don't watch Packers enough to know if that's the case or was he just really hurt.
Right.
I'm watching him tonight because he's healthy now.
Yes.
And he's going against that man you just brought up, Jayden Daniels, who is thetruth.com. And if the Commanders win this game, no shock here, no shade. I have the Packers in the Super Bowl, but the Commanders could be there. I respect it. But Jordan Love tonight on this stage at home against that kid on the other side, oh, brother, you got to show out tonight. It's on you tonight. Micah could play great. They could run the ball great. I like Matt LaFleur as a coach. Everything could work for the Packers tonight. It's still got to be on Jordan Love. And the Commanders are too good of a team, Kasey, to come out here tonight and all those other things work. Like I just said, coaching, Micah has a couple sacks, whatever, run the ball effectively. If Jordan Love is just pedestrian, if Jordan Love is just good tonight, they'll lose the game because Jayden Daniels is special. So I'm watching Jordan Love to see if he has an inkling of that. Can you give me a skosh of that?
I think Jordan Love needs a little more love on his name because not to be like, okay, yeah, he was injured. I do stand by that. But then also you're talking about a young guy who has not had a reliable wide receiving core.
True.
Period. So, again, I was so high on what Christian Watson can produce at the NFL level, and to not be able to consistently have that guy in your playbook is impactful. Romeo Doubs, when you cannot consistently have him in your playbook, it is impactful. He hasn't had a consistent wide receiving core whatsoever. So how do you kind of build that consistent chemistry so that you can come out and be that dog and kind of command your offense if, you've been commanding different kinds of offenses throughout the entire season while nursing your own injuries at a young age? That kind of hinders or plays with the development of some of these quarterbacks. So that's where I defend Love because I still do think he's special and I still do think he has a little bit more to give, especially if he can find a little bit more consistency. But then outside of that, they found a better way to run the ball and he just needs to stay healthy. But I think he does have more command than we saw out of him last season.
I need to see it tonight. I think this is a good spot for him to do it. I mean, last week they beat the hell out of the Lions. He was kind of pedestrian. 16-22, a $188, 2 tutties, no picks. That's the most important part, right?
He keeps it clean on the turnovers.
He does. But that's a game managing stat that I just gave you, which is fine against the Lions, who lost both coordinators, and they're kind of a mess right now. I think tonight I need more out of Jordan Love. That's who I'm watching. I'm not saying he can't do it, but I need to see it tonight. If I don't,
want to see
they're
more
going to
out
lose the
of
game.
Daniels, because he didn't have the sexiest
He
week one
didn't,
performance.
but I have more.
We're going to call people pedestrian.
I've watched him in the playoffs elevate his team.
Okay.
I haven't seen that from Jordan Love.
Okay.
And I think I'm being unfair because he played hurt. So now I want to see tonight.
Well, because you have Daniels, who has Scary Terry, and then you have
Well,
Love,
yeah, he has better weapons.
Right.
No one's arguing that. You can't.